Hello folks, this is Ayatana Jha from InspiredToRise.com, and today we have the Motorola's Moto G3, Moto G 2015 as well as the Infocus M810 here with us for a comparison review of both of these smartphones. The Infocus M810 as well as the Motorola Moto G 2015 both are in a same price bracket of 13,000 rupees, and we have both of these smartphones over here, and today we are gonna do a quick comparison review of both of these smartphones. When we compare the initial look and feel of both of these devices, then we find that the Motorola Moto G 2015 stands really good in terms of having a really lightweight profile and fitting inside the hand with real ease. The 5-inch display does add to the fact that you can easily have the phone in your pockets and it won't feel any bulgy or something of that sort. And if we look at the Infocus M810, the smartphone is a little bit thick, but as compared to the Moto G, it's almost equivalent the thickness, but still the phone does feel a little big in hand. The 5.5-inch display on the Infocus M810 is bigger than the 5-inch display on the Moto G 2015. When you place the smartphones in a side-by-side comparison, you can see the definitive gap between both, and as well as the bezel size on the Infocus M810 is a little bit bigger, so it feels overall bigger. But in terms of display quality, the Infocus M810 is the winner because it has a full HD 1920 to 1080p display with 401 ppi, whereas the Moto G 2015 has only a 1280 to 720p 294 ppi display. So that makes things really better for the Infocus M810. Let us just see what's under the hood for both of these smartphones. So we would do a small comparison of what's inside the hood for both of these smartphones. So when we look inside the hood, we find that the Moto G3, Moto G 2015 runs on a Qualcomm Snapdragon 410 quad-core processor, whereas the Infocus M810 comes with a Snapdragon 801 2.46 GHz processor, and the 2.46 GHz processor is a quad-core processor, and the Snapdragon 410 on the Moto G 2015 is a newer variant, and the GPU on the Infocus M810 is Adreno 330, whereas on the Moto G3 you get Adreno 306. When we compare the RAM on both of these devices, so both of these devices come with 2 GB of RAM, and the Moto G 2015 is also available in a more cheaper variant wherein you get only 1 GB of RAM and 8 GB of internal storage, and the storage is same on almost both of these smartphones, wherein you get 16 GB of internal storage, and apart from that you can use a micro SD card to increase the inbuilt storage to up to 64 GB on the Infocus M810 and up to 128 GB on the Moto G 2015. So here the Moto G takes a definitive lead. And coming forward, let us just test the camera quality on both of these smartphones. So this is a photograph that we clicked from both of these smartphones. This is of the same subject under same lighting conditions. The Moto G 2015 comes with the autofocus as well as infrared filter, so it was able to capture a little bit more clarity and contrast in the image and in the overall colors. And as is visible, we use the Google camera application on both of these smartphones, so that there is no different algorithm on use in both of these smartphones. So the overall picture quality, as you can see, is somewhat definitely better in the Moto G 2015, and the back camera on both of these smartphones is a 13 megapixel camera. And when it comes to the front camera, we will also test this. So the front camera on both of these smartphones is a 5 megapixel camera. The front camera on the Infocus M810 is capable of recording full HD videos, whereas the front camera on Moto G3 is capable of recording 720p HD videos. The Infocus M810 camera has a little bit more accurate color reproduction, the front camera on that smartphone, whereas the Moto G 2015 camera did a little bit more oversaturation on my face and made me look even more yellower than I am, whereas it showed the reddish nature of my face, which was because of the sunlight and because of heavy exertion. So overall, the more real, closer to life photo was for the Infocus M810. So in terms of front camera, we have to give this one to the Infocus M810. In the back camera, the Infocus M810 is capable of recording 2160p videos at 30 frames per second, 1080p videos at 60 frames per second, and 720p videos at 120 frames per second, which stands for slow motion videos. Whereas the Moto G3 is capable of recording 1080p videos at 30 frames per second maximum on the back camera. When it comes to battery life, both of these smartphones are okay enough and not as great as one would expect them to be. When it comes to overall battery life, the Infocus M810 does not last as much as long as the Moto G3. This is also because of the fact that the Moto G3 runs the vanilla Android 5.1.1, whereas the latest version of Android, Android Lollipop, and the Infocus M810 runs Android 5.0.2, and which is a little bit outdated version of Android Lollipop. Apart from that, there are really minor changes in both of these smartphones. The Infocus M810 has a larger battery, 2600 mAh lithium polymer ion battery, but still because of the fact that it has a larger display area and because of the fact that it uses a full HD display, it does not last as long as the Moto G 2015. The Moto G 2015 has a 2470 mAh battery but still manages to pack in more than a day overall battery life. It has a lithium ion non-removable battery, and when it comes to extra features, which one has what? The Moto G 2015 comes with IPX7 water certification, and it is water resistant over 3 feet and up to 30 minutes, whereas the Infocus M810 has NFC enabled, so that's one of the features that Moto G does not have. So we are gonna test the Antutu benchmark on both of these smartphones. Let us just wait for the final score. When it comes to the 3D benchmark, the Infocus M810 simply kills it, and the Moto G3 does show a little bit lag. And this is also because of the fact that the Infocus M810 has a more powerful processor and packs in more processing power in terms of GPU and everything, whereas the Moto G3 does not have that much power. So the final score on both of these devices is visible right now: 39,299 on the Infocus M810, whereas 23,197 on the Moto G3. When it comes to raw performance, the Infocus M810 does win, but let us just show you the temperature on both of these devices so that you might get a better idea about which device is overheating up to what extent. So you can see the temperature is 61 degrees Celsius on the Infocus M810, whereas 44.2 degrees Celsius. Right now the phone is feeling like a heater in my hand. The Infocus M810 simply overheats a lot. It is so hot at the back that I could press my clothes with it. So that's one of the really bad things about this phone. In case you want to run some really heavy 4K HD videos, or you want to do really heavy gaming for a long period of time, the Infocus M810 simply does not stand up to that task because of the fact that it overheats a lot. So overall, we guess the Moto G is a winner for those people who want a phone which works really great just out of the box. The Infocus M810 loses because of the fact that it heats up a lot and it does not stay up to the whole day like the Moto G 2015, which has an all-day battery. And apart from that, the camera on the Moto G is slightly better in terms of image capture, but the Infocus M810 is better in terms of full HD and 2160p HD capture. So that's what makes the camera there is a little bit caveat in both of these. In terms of gaming, we have already done separate reviews of both of these smartphones, so we know that gaming is good on both of these smartphones. Let us just compare another benchmark that we have so that we get a clear idea about which smartphone does it better on the Nina Mark II. The score is 59.5 FPS on the Infocus M810, while it's 56 FPS on the Moto G 2015. So I guess we all know that the Infocus M810 is better in terms of raw performance when compared to the Moto G 2015. Both of these smartphones are comparable in terms of pricing, for a price of 13,000 rupees. So who should buy which phone? People who are looking for really powerhouse smartphone and care about gorgeous looks. In terms of looks, the Infocus M810 does feel a little great because of the back gold and gold cover and the glass finish. And people who care about looks and people who care about a smartphone which has a full HD display and a big display should go for the Infocus M810 if they are willing to compromise with the fact that it does overheat a lot. And people who want just a no-brainer phone which works really well out of the box, runs almost every application that you throw at it, and has an all-day battery life and is waterproof and does look really good in the hand, so they should go for the Moto G 2015. So guys, it takes a lot of time and effort to make such videos. Don't forget to hit like button below and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. This is Adityanath Jha from inspiredtorise.com signing off. Stay inspired to rise.